extra special guest tonight, one of my oldest friends, David Brainerd. How you doing, buddy? Real quick, shout out to Dave. Finally popped his cherry in winning, which is not the way I want to introduce my guest because you might think it makes him illegitimate or not knowledgeable in football. Dave knows so much football and is so ingrained and in tuned and obsessed that it kind of cost him probably 5 championships in the last 22 years. Is that right? Fair. You were one league man, you're monogamous, and you're just in your own head. Dude finally won. One of the brightest football minds I know. Dave Brainerd, how you doing, buddy? How was that victory? Derrick Henry fucking come all over their face.
It was great, man. It was great. And the funniest part of the whole thing was coming into the season, I was very anti-Caleb Williams. Last year proved me to be right. Beginning of this year even proved me to be right. He had the Dallas game. Besides that, he was horrible. I was rolling with streaming QBs this year. Make a long story short, I was really in on Goff towards the end of the year. That's what vaulted me in. But I had a little angel on my shoulder, said, don't start him against the Vikings on Christmas Day. I picked up Caleb Williams off waivers, started him, even though I don't like him, and he won the damn title for me. And now he's playing well in the real playoffs, so I'm starting to respect the hell out of the guy, to be honest with you.
Well, so that's Derrick Henry won you the championship.
He did, but if I would have started Goff got 3 points and Caleb got 30. Like, that decision also won me my league.
Was that it? Would you have lost if it was just?
Oh, I won by 11. That was it. So that was a 27-point decision. Also sitting Bucky Irving for O'Marion Hampton won me the game. That was not easy. Bucky Irving against Miami.
Oh, Bucky Irving is trash, though.
He is, but going into Miami, it's like, and then you got O'Marion Hampton question marks against Texans. Like, that was not an easy decision, bro. But I made it, and I'm happy to have won. Finally.
I will say this. Derrick Henry, I had him in 4 leagues, and I didn't make the championship in any but 1. And it was actually the first draft I streamed on here. I did 17 Fantrax leagues. It was the first draft I drafted Joe Burrow. I dropped him after the injury because there's no IR spot. I drafted Tyreek. Dude, my team was like I had Tucker Kraft. Like 4 of my top 7 picks were just out for the year. And I was projected to lose by 36 points going into the championship game. And I was like, I was in 15 championships. I was like, I wrote this one off, right? Like, no way, whatever. Derrick Henry, there's no Lamar. And then, like, that Saturday game, I was just like, okay. And then, like, because of his game, I was even projections. That's how much of an underdog I was.
Yeah.
And I ended up winning. That was one of my wins. And it was just like, why didn't Harbaugh, again, Harbaugh's fired. Like, maybe you should have given the ball this many times all year long because Derrick Henry was fine. Physically, Derrick Henry looked like the same he did in Tennessee, right? Yes. He looked better than he did the year before. He looked awesome.
Yeah.
Fast. Like, how he hit the
sideline. How he hit the hole. All the time. He always pulls away from safeties, and like he's not losing that. And like to your point, there was a lot of these are not rough numbers. These are numbers, just not in order. But there was 10, 11, 12 carry games, lots of them, especially down the stretch. I don't need 36. What's amazing is he got in a half PPR with bonus points for yardage bonuses like milestones, 50 points in my league without recording a single catch. Like, when was the last time a running back got to 50 points without a catch? Amazing. No, so I don't need 36 carries, but 24 is like totally, it absolutely must have been done. And that's part of why Harbaugh, I'm sure, is gone. But like 11 and 12 isn't even half to where they're supposed to be. And positive game scripts or neutral. Like, it wasn't even like they were losing. I remember the Bengals game on Thanksgiving. It was like 9-6 at half. And they're like,
13 carries, right?
We can't run. We couldn't. And everyone's like so salivating for Henry versus Cincinnati. Do you remember that week? It was like, oh my God, Cincinnati. And then it was like this flaccid performance because he didn't get anything.
My biggest gripe wasn't the carries. The carries were disgusting, right? And like one of the reasons he looked so good is because he was so fresh. But it was the snap share, and it was him playing 40% of the snaps in some of these neutral game script games. It's like Derrick Henry, I get it's kind of predictable, but it doesn't have to be predictable when he's in the game. You can just have him in there. He is a capable pass catcher. It's not like Keaton Mitchell is not a pass catcher. He's an athletic dude. He's not a pass catcher. Ali, like, dude, it's not like you have, James White back there. So it's like, all you do is just limit your offense and you take them off the field. That was the most maddening thing, being a Henry owner, owning players in the Ravens. For me, I had all those Ravens Super Bowl tickets at 25-1. And if they had just stuck with Henry all year during the, weeks 12, 14, 13, 15, they wouldn't have been in that situation where they had to win that game against the Steelers. And we all know the Steelers were frauds. Like, I feel like the Ravens were a dangerous team. Look at the playoffs, dude. It's wide open. But we're not here to talk about fantasy. We're going to talk about fantasy later, but we're talking about the NFL playoffs right now. Dave, give me, and we're both Bears fans, so give me your take real quick on the Bears. Like, it's been a wild year. These comebacks, it's like I keep on writing them off in terms of saying it can't happen again. They can't do this again. They can't be down by 15 points again in the fourth quarter. They can't come back, get onside kicks, and do all this shit. And they keep on doing it. So is it sustainable? Can they actually come out fast against the Rams? Give me your chance that they can win against the Rams and just what you've seen so far.
Yeah, I mean, if it was in the dome, I would say I would be all over the Rams. Just be, I think their offense should scare the hell out of everybody. I give the Bears a chance, absolutely. What I think so far, I don't think that they're frauds. I think that we've seen, you and I actually together were watching a lot of football, like physically together, at the time of that 2001 team where they're having those like out their ass, like the win against the Browns, the win against the Niners in back-to-back weeks. I'm sure you remember those, 2001.
Yeah,
I mean,
Mike Brown.
And those were like,
I gotta urinate.
Shane Matthews and Jim Miller. You knew that offense, if it was struggling, you knew it deserved to struggle. Here, they get out of the gate slow, and you're thinking, I know the talent is there. Like, everybody could see on offense, even if Caleb is average, like everyone knows that the talent is on the Bears. And the offensive line is damn good. The coach is damn good. I mean, I expect that if they're struggling in the beginning, I have faith that they can raise their game as the game goes on. I have faith in that. And that's what's been playing out. So it doesn't seem like they're shooting out their ass at the end of games. It seems like that's what they should have been doing. Caleb just isn't a fast starter right now.
He's not also executing the offense that Ben Johnson wants him to. And I feel like the game gets more desperate, and he kind of just – he has always been that backyard quarterback, and that's kind of what Ben Johnson hates. But I think Ben Johnson needs to adjust. No, obviously, we're saying they're winning, so he doesn't need to do this. But to stop these slow starts, he needs to let Caleb play ball. And Jared Goff was a perfect candidate for Ben Johnson's offense, right? Everything on time, running game. Caleb Williams is never going to be Jared Goff, which I'm happy for, because Jared Goff, for as awesome as he is on time and executing the plays, he also can't do anything off script at all. It can't happen. He throws the ball in the dirt. He gets sacked. He fumbles. Caleb can't be brought down. So I think there's a lot of room for growth with this team, whether it happens this year in the playoffs. I'm more like hopeful next year, because Ben Johnson can adapt his offense to actually, play to Caleb's strengths a little bit more, right? You still want to hit those little 8-yard slant routes, all those kind of things, but that's not Caleb Williams. It probably will never be Caleb Williams. He can improve on his accuracy in those things. But what Caleb offers is something that other quarterbacks don't. It's the Mahomes, it's the Josh Allen, it's that type of player that the play doesn't, the first read's not there. He can go to his fifth read. He's great at scanning the field. And when the play breaks down, he can extend the play so fucking long, dude. And like, how valuable is that?
Yeah, I mean, they say about Patrick Mahomes, I've heard players say, like, with Patrick Mahomes, you have to defend the play and the play after the play. Like, every play is 2 plays. It's like, it could be 7, 8, 9 seconds. Like, the guy's insane. And Caleb, like you said, has that. It's funny, if anybody's watching this that knows, like, I've been like militantly against Caleb like all year. So this is totally an about face for me. So I don't want to gush all over the guy, but I'm just calling him like I see him, what I see him doing out there, and like the potential for, you just run Ben Johnson's offense. But then if it doesn't get blocked up, or if people run the wrong route, or if the coverage surprises you, the play is not dead. So I think that it could be the best of both worlds. Ben Johnson's design plays and open rate, and Caleb Williams' ability to scramble and extend, like you said.
Right. The perfect example of the Ben Johnson thing you're talking about was the game-winning touchdown to DJ Moore. That was such a beautifully designed play. You have DJ Moore, 15 yards clear of any defender. It was so easy, right? And like, that's the upside of having a Ben Johnson. And then when the play breaks down, when that doesn't work, when the defense actually diagnoses this, then he can just run out and, what was it? The 3rd and 10 play where he only scrambled for like 14 yards, but he bought himself like 8 seconds, and then he was still looking to throw. And you had 3 or 4 guys, including a linebacker, even with him. And the athleticism, Caleb Williams is just, dude, he is a fucking sports car, man. Like, guys like Anthony Richardson, some of these guys never get a chance to actually pan out and actually like put their skills to work. Where like Caleb actually has a chance, and this is scratching the surface. That's a scary thing about Caleb. Me and Storey, we're not really big Caleb guys. Like it's just the Ben Johnson thing makes it viable, right? And gives him hope, and the fact they believe in each other. And it's exciting times for us as Bears fans because what we have watched has not been great. It's been Kyle Orton. It's been Rex Grossman. It's been lazy, terrible teammate Jay Cutler, who we love Jay Cutler, but Jay Cutler was just an above average quarterback, honestly, and the best we ever had. It's been bad. Trubisky, like, go down the line. We've never had an actual quarterback, and this seems to be a quarterback plus. It's a different breed of a guy.
And he has to take a step. He has to take a step forward next year, because the one thing I will caution everyone about is that we see this every year. Teams that outperform their expectations by so much, like the Bears, like the Jaguars, when the schedule toughens up next year, can you beat good teams consistently? Like, we see a lot of teams fall out of the playoffs right away because it's like, oh, I see, they weren't meant to stick there. They had a fun ride getting there, but that could be the Bears. It could be the Jags. Watch out for both of those next year if the quarterbacks on both teams do not step up again.
Look at the Commanders. That's the perfect example right there. I mean,
hell yeah, that's a good.
That was a lot of injuries, but I'm telling you, even if Jaden Daniels was 100% healthy this year, with the holdout of McLaurin, with that old defense, with Eckler and getting rid of Brian Robinson, like, that was an 8-win team, right? Would you agree?
That's a great call. That's a great call. Like, that's the perfect example. Yeah.
And Jaden Daniels played better last year than Caleb played this year in terms of stats. I still feel like Caleb is a better prospect because he doesn't take hits. You know what I mean? Like, he scrambles out of necessity. Yes. Jaden Daniels is a scrambling quarterback. I still love Jaden Daniels. We're going to get into all this with the fantasy takes about guys who want to draft next year. Last name, McCullough has a question for us. Tunjas, Shaheed, Kupp, Robinson, anytime TDs, around plus 300 and plus 350. Which interests us? So I think Tunjas jumps off the screen for me.
Yes.
That at the same, if they're all plus 300, 3-1 odds. I would say Tunjas. I would rank it Tunjas and Kupp as the top two.
Yeah, I would agree. Tunjas is number one for sure. You could split hairs, Kupp and Robinson. I'm not in on Shaheed on that. That's just, you're relying on obviously one big play. Tunjas is like has a red zone role and a very consistent role. He's the one for sure.
Yeah, it was weird last week how they went to use check. You know what I mean? Like, Tunjas didn't step in, and they're playing Farrell. Obviously, Farrell's a blocking tight end there. And then Brian Robinson is the other one. I think that's Brian Robinson, not against the Seahawks. If it was the other way around, if he was the ancillary piece in the Seahawks against,
I thought it was DeMarcus Robinson. Maybe could it be?
That might be DeMarcus Robinson. Okay, but
that's
Ricky
what I was
probably back.
As.
Yeah, Ricky Pearsall's probably back. So no. Now, so it's Tunjas and Kupp for me, and I think Tunjas, like you said, is the guy. Tunjas is the guy if you want to bet on those. Jimmy Clausen, Caleb Heine, worst Bears quarterbacks we've ever seen. Caleb Haney. Remember Caleb Haney?
Yeah, I also submit Henry Burris.
Hey, he's a Canadian hero, though.
And Craig Krenzel was another one. I remember he passed for 40 yards on Thanksgiving one day.
God. See, I don't even consider Jimmy Clausen a Bears quarterback, though.
It was Craig Krenzel and Drew Stanton, or I don't remember what it was, but anyway.
I don't consider Clausen a Bears quarterback because we didn't draft him. You know what I mean? Like, he was a Panthers draft pick, I believe. So, like, I know he played for the Bears, but, like, I'm more going off guys that we actually drafted. Henry Burris, I loved for a while just because I loved his athleticism. You remember how much I loved Henry Burris, but
yes, I do.
He had a couple good games, though. Blake says, good call here. This is exactly what we were just saying when he wins so many games. Minnesota this year was an example, but that wasn't really – that was just because quarterback play, honestly. I posed this question to someone on the show the other day. If they had Aaron Rodgers, so if the Vikings had Aaron Rodgers this year, the Aaron Rodgers they got in Pittsburgh, who led them to the playoffs, how many wins would the Vikings have had? Let's say he stayed healthy, same exact season that Aaron Rodgers had. He missed one game, right? If the Vikings had Aaron Rodgers this year, they won 9 games. Didn't they win 9 games? I think the Vikings went 9-8 because they won their last 4 or 5 games. But it was a rough year. Would they have won 11 games? Is it worth 2 games, at least 3 games?
I think the interest, as you were talking, I was landing on 10 because I'm thinking to myself, like, 11 is generous because they're playing the teams that they're playing in the division all could could beat him. So yeah, I think that he would be worth a win. I do think he would, but he'd get him to 10.
Dude, no, they started a game with Max. They started Max Brosmer game. They had the Carson Wentz game where he had one arm. Like those were free losses.
They won a Brosmer game.
They did. That was late, but the first Brosmer game was the Seahawks game where he had the 4 turnovers. Then there was the Carson Wentz game against the Chargers, right, where he should no business playing, but they didn't trust McCarthy coming off the ankle injury in general. And then all the McCarthy games. So it's like dude, it has to be worth more than one. I know it's crazy to say they would have won 12 games. I can't believe they won 9. It was because how they finished. But like dude, he's worth more than one game. There's no way it's only one game. JJ McCarthy was absolute ass, bro.
He was.
Because we're talking that he might come. I think that Aaron Rodgers, now that he's not going to go back to the Steelers with no Tomlin, he played well this year. Like it kind of showed how bad the Jet situation was. Yeah. And it wasn't just him. The whole situation was bad. He played bad with the Jets. Also the Achilles injury. He's clear of that. And Tom Brady set the mold. So I feel like Minnesota's a great situation. Justin Jefferson, regardless of what, maybe Addison's not there. I don't know. He got arrested again, of course. Jordan Addison's a fucking clown. But, you have weapons there. You have Kevin O'Connell. You have a good defense. You have a good, stable environment. And they just need a fucking, like, a presence there, right? And JJ McCarthy's not it. Perfect situation. You bring Aaron Rodgers in. JJ McCarthy sits for the first half of the year. If it doesn't work out with Rodgers, you go to McCarthy. If it does work with Rodgers, you're in the playoff hunt. You stick with Rodgers. That's fine. I feel like they're a playoff team. Maybe I'm crazy. Our division's really tough. I'll say that. Really tough division. But who else are they going to get? They can't get any. There's nobody else.
I'm hearing Cousins.
Ew. I'd rather have... Dude, Rodgers is much better than Cousins at this stage.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The key word that I'm hearing is competition. So I feel like if Rodgers goes there, it's obviously not a competition. He would never stand for that.
That's why he didn't go there this year.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't go there this year.
Competition they seek. Cousins has already proven that he will not take his ball and go home if he's not starting, but he will start. So he's kind of the perfect guy, not to mention, do I have to say the history, coach, stadium, team, everything. I think that would be what's most likely to happen. Is it better than Rodgers? No, but I do think it's what's most likely to happen.
I feel like JJ McCarthy has given up his right to be like the, because he was a first round pick, he's going to be the starter. That was the case going into this season.
Yeah.
I feel like this year he's played himself out of that, where if they bring in Rodgers, hey kids, sit behind him for at least the first half of the year, see how it happens. Aaron Rodgers is guaranteed the first half of the year. If they're 3-5, they go to McCarthy. If they're 5-3, they stay with Rodgers. I think McCarthy's given up that right, because obviously what leverage does he have, right?
Yeah.
What does he have? He might think he has some, but thoughts on Demario Douglas, anytime touchdown? I don't fuck with anytime touchdowns, honestly, GT. I bet yardage props, but I don't hate it. I don't like the matchup against the Texans. I really don't. What is your take on that game, Dave?
I'm really pro Texans in all cases. I just always believe in them, and they rarely let me down. So I feel like, I could be wrong, but I got a strong feeling. We haven't seen Denver and New England, two other of those teams that we talked about, that like, hey, the quarterback again is going to have to take another leap if the team's going to compete with their updated schedule in 2026. Because now you get the same sort of thing where the Patriots didn't have. What did he have? Like 2 touchdowns against teams with winning records all year, Drake May. So here you are presented with that, and it's a nasty, nasty defense. So it'll be a damn good game. Plus, with Vrabel involved, Vrabel versus D'Amico Ryans. This is like our childhood guys we watched, and like now they're playing each other. It's gonna be awesome. But I got the Texans in that one.
Same, man. Where is Justin Fields next year? That's like asking where's fucking Waldo. Not starting anywhere, and he's not really a backup. I think he should go to the Ravens. I know they like Tyler Huntley. I think the Ravens is a nice spot for him. I'm trying to think of another team that has a scramble first quarterback, because you have to pair the backup scrambler with a scrambling quarterback. You can't back up a pocket quarterback. So maybe back up Kyler Murray wherever Kyler Murray goes.
Yeah,
you might
that's the only thing that makes sense in my head. It's like you have to fit the profile. Shitty, runs a lot. Perfect. Like perfect. Kyler Murray, 2 peas in a pod.
Otto says UFL. You know what I was thinking? I was watching this year, and I don't know if this is capable, but the Taysom Hill experience was awesome, right? I mean, it was great for fantasy, especially. Why not make Justin Fields a Taysom Hill at this point in his career? And I love Justin Fields. It's just not happening. He needs to be in a perfect situation, and any perfect situation just already has someone better. So like they're not going to bring him in there. So why not make him a Taysom Hill, dude? He can play running back. He can play maybe not tight end, but wide receiver. Take him some snacks at quarterback, wildcat quarterback. Like why not? Why not? He could do it, right? He's huge, 225 pounds.
I like the idea a lot. It's funny that I never thought of him that way. I can't think of a better way to use him. The only thing that comes to mind is that, Taysom Hill was a quarterback coming up, and I think that he's got a pretty good head on his shoulders, and he can process, and he's a smart player, so he can play all those positions because he can learn them, and he's a football guy. Justin Fields can barely learn his own position, and I don't know that I trust him in all these different alignments and shit. Like, I don't know if he's got what it takes, but physically, he's like a perfect plug and play. He could get his weight up a little bit too, but it would be funny in that role. Just tell him what to do. Exactly what to do.
Just like instructions for putting together a fucking cabinet or something.
Like IKEA cabinet, yeah.
Yeah. Let me give you the Ravens, though. Imagine a backfield with Lamar, Lamar and Henry, and you have some special packages where you have like Wishbone or stuff like that, or, weird packages, and you have Lamar, you have Derrick Henry, and you have Justin Fields in the backfield. Because let's be honest, Taysom Hill, okay, was a quarterback. As bad as Justin Fields has been as a quarterback, he is still 3 times the quarterback Taysom Hill is. We saw those games started from Taysom Hill when he was playing quarterback.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the arm. He is just he can't read. He's worse than Justin Fields. So like Fields is more of a threat to throw the ball than Taysom Hill. He's faster. He's just not quite the bruiser that Taysom Hill is. But that would be a really, really tough. The defenses would be pulling their hair out if they have Fields, Henry, and Lamar in the backfield.
And he's expendable too, so you could run into him with a brick
wall.
It's like, who cares? So he's down a couple games. It's like losing Cordero Patterson. It's like, okay, so we don't have that gimmick in our bag this week. That's okay, but it's not like he's your starting quarterback. Then you're not going to run him between the tackles.
100%. All right, last question. We got to get to these playoff games. Tua/Malik potential good fits in Minnesota. Tua's not a good fit anywhere. Tua's dead to me, dead to the NFL. Do you agree?
Yeah, but I see Tua in Minnesota. Like that's actually a great. I don't think they would eat the money, and I don't know what they would get. But just when I think about that, I feel like that's the kind of thing O'Connell might actually want to take on. Do I think it's going to work? No, he's dead to me too. But
Malik Willis is not a good fit in Minnesota. He might be a good fit somewhere else, maybe Miami, maybe Atlanta. Like not. Maybe Arizona, not Minnesota. Kevin O'Connell has a pretty strict pocket passer mentality, right?
Yeah. And I want to just on that note, like you just reminded me of something. Tyler Huntley, just offshooting for a second. Do you remember when he played last year for the Dolphins?
It's awful.
He sucked. And he was great in his time towards the end of the season. He beat the Bears, first of all. He was great towards the end of the year in the game that he did play, that spot start.
Yeah, Green Bay.
Like, what does that really say about the Miami offense and Mike McDaniel? Like, what does it really say that that you had that piece and like you made him look like Quinn Ewers?
I feel like Miami can't operate. Mike McDaniel can't operate with a scrambler. You know what I mean? It's like certain, like obviously Huntley was running the same Lamar offense. But that's the thing with Malik. I don't want Malik going to the Dolphins. Like I know McDaniel's out of there, but Malik's got to be in a good situation. This is a good comment from Matt Galloway. What's up, Matt? Malik Willis is the next Matt Flynn. Now, if you remember, Matt Flynn got a bag for those 2 good games. Malik Willis has done a little bit more than Matt Flynn because he did it last year for those. It was 2.5 games, right? When Love went down. And this year it was about 2.5 games or 1.5 games. I love the difference is Malik Willis was a better prospect than Matt Flynn. Like Malik Willis should have gone higher in the draft. He went, I think it was the early 3rd round, but he had a great pro day. He's a monster of a man, great arm. He just processing is a question. Now, Matt LaFleur is great with quarterbacks. So do you think Malik Willis should be signed as a starter somewhere? Like the Colts. The Colts. Should they sign Daniel Jones back after the injury or Malik Willis?
I would probably do Jones there, but man, that's a tough call. I do think he deserves to be a starter, though, given some of what we saw this year. I do think that, the Browns, he would kill.
Yeah, but they already committed it. It's funny. They committed to Shedeur Sanders already before that this season's even ended. They committed to him next year, but they wouldn't even dress him as a second string quarterback the whole year. It's like they drafting Dylan Gabriel was the dumbest thing in the world. Like, I'm not a Shedeur fan, but Shedeur should have been a 3rd round pick, and Dylan Gabriel should have been a 6th round pick, and they flip flopped it essentially. And they fucked themselves because they should have. Shedeur could have played 4 more games this year and got more. We would have actually known what Shedeur was. I don't know what he is. There's not a big enough sample size. He also played pretty poorly in like over half his starts, like really bad. I don't like him. He's fine, I guess. He was a value in the 5th round. Every team that passed on him because they pretty much blackballed him, right? Whatever you want to say. Blue balled him. Yeah, because he was waiting. He wanted to come.
They promised.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, man, it's he's fine. I don't want to pay him too much money though, if that makes sense. Like, not too much money.
No, I wouldn't give. I think he's just one of those. He's either like one of the top 3 backups in the league, or he's a fringe starter. Either way, but you're going to be more excited about him as a backup. Like, you're going to feel like, you know what, I've got the best damn backup I can have. He's really stabilized, but yeah, as a starter, there's so much unknown. But if he's coached properly, and KOC could totally do it in Minnesota. I mean, shit, Josh Dobbs looked great for a stretch. Like, I could see him doing something there.
Josh Dobbs is only good when he comes in emergency duty, though, right? The second you give Josh Dobbs a starting job, he goes like 19 for 41 with 3 picks.
Yeah,
but if he comes in, if he signs with a team, he's got to start 6 days later. He throws 3 touchdowns. It's wild. What do they call him? The Pasternaut? Is that right? Or he's got a nickname. Yeah. He also has is it alopecia he has, or he's got that hairless he's like Mr. Bigglesworth, right? he's something like that. I got a clip to play you, Dave. You're gonna love this.
It's on 3rd with 2 down, and that brings up Squeak Scolari.
Oh, God, I knew it was going to come down to me. I just knew it.
Relax, dude. It's not just you. We're a team.
And it all comes down to just one man.
Oh, God.
Listen to me, dude. If I could have one guy out there right now, one guy, to be you.
Unfortunately, that one man is Squeak Scolari.
Oh, shit.
Listen, pretend this is just another game.
This Denslow Cup is, of course, the biggest game of the season.
Oh, Christ.
Will you turn that shit off?
I'm so scared, man. Like,
listen to me, you little bitch. You either go out there and make that shot, or I'm going to shove your head so far up your fucking ass, you have to wear yourself as a hat.
And in the dugout, Doug Reamer giving his teammates some last-minute encouragement.
Ah! Ah! Now go out there and make that shot!
Charlie Villanueva equals Dobbs. They have the same kind of issue, right? They're hairless cats. Mr. Bigglesworth. Dakota asked, will Addison play again? Yeah, he'll play again, but he cost himself a hell of a lot of money, Dave. Hell of a lot of money.
Yep. He's an idiot. We know this. We know this to be true.
Trespassing. What are you doing, bro? Fucking just, I was saying last time on the show, I was like, these NFL players have such short shelf lives, right? And he's a better than average player, former 1st round pick, 7 or 8 years. He'll be 30 when he's out of the league. Just wait to break the law and do dumb shit after you've already made $45 million. Then you can do it. Yep. Don't do it before you've made $45 million. Just fucking play, work. You have the shortest career ever. You're not a doctor. You're not working until you're 65. You're working until you're 30, and then party. Then become OJ Simpson. Go murder people. I don't give a fuck. Just don't do it when you're playing. Aaron Hernandez. You know what? Kill dudes after you retire. You would have had a great career. What a great career Aaron Hernandez would have had. God, I loved Aaron Hernandez. What a player. What a player. Some might say, but he's a better receiving tight end than Gronk. He even admits it. He was a weapon,
he does.
Bro.
He does admit that. That's funny.
It's true. It's true. Will anyone other than Professional Fanatics finish first in the fantasy playoff league? Yeah, Dakota. If the New England goes to the Super Bowl, he will win. He has 8 Patriots or 7 Patriots. And then I think it's either Jonathan or MVP has Sam Darnold and JSN. He's nipping at our heels. So if the Seattle goes to the Super Bowl, he will win. So that's how it kind of goes. Fantasy playoffs is awesome, by the way. It's a new breed. You have to pick the games, pick the teams, and the players. So essentially, you're predicting games along with production. Yeah. So it's you got to know ball. That's for sure. I said it to you, Rob. Addison's got to go to Las Vegas. Yeah, bringing Addison was bringing Henry Ruggs. They should re-sign Henry Ruggs. Do they still have the rights to Henry Ruggs? Is that how that works?
I don't know, but I heard he's making his way. Did you hear something about that too?
He's still in jail, right? But yeah, he can. He's only 26 years old. Wild. Dakota, you're still alive, bro. You have Denver's defense, Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton, right? So like, if Denver makes it to the Super Bowl, you're in play. That's the thing. There's like 5 teams still in play. Faded says thoughts on Tomlin. Someone on here, I forget, it might have been Nick O, was bringing up the fact that Tomlin might have had some kind of extramarital affair with like a baby. That might be why he stepped down. And I don't know if you heard that Ryan Clark was calling it a race thing, saying that they essentially fired Tomlin because he's black. It's like, dude, Ryan Clark's a fucking moron. Ryan Clark, just so you know, I did not hate Ryan Clark. I liked him as a player. I kind of respected his takes for a while. Ryan Clark is, ESPN has kind of seeped into his fucking brain, and he's just saying shit to say shit. And I fucking hate that. I want to fight this motherfucker.
You stupid fuck. Go buy some sandals. Hey, go buy some sandals. You want to fight? I'll fight you. I haven't fought in 10 years. I'm fighting you. What you got? What you got? Let's see. Throw down, bitch. Throw down, bitch.
What are your thoughts on Ryan Clark?
I feel the same way as you. Like, I've tell you, as soon as he comes on the screen, I just get rid of him. Like, I hate his little pin on his lapel with his initials. I hate everything about him.
The one person I hate more is Tony Dungy. He's a bigot and a racist. So he's black people can be racist too, just so you know. And they actually have more right to be racist than white people because of all the shit we did do to them. I understand that. But he also hates gay people. And like, again, I make fun of trans people all the time. It's funny to me. But I'm also an equal opportunity employer. I make fun of everyone. And Tony Dungy is just a fucking bigot. A fucking bigot. Just look it up. Tony Dungy's son killed himself because he was gay. Because his dad was Tony Dungy. And you think his dad would ever accept a gay son? Fucking 1970s like shit, dude. Like, Tony Dungy, you're a piece of shit. Ryan Clark, you're not far behind. Imagine Ryan Clark at Tony Dungy's age. What's he going to be saying now in 2045? Ryan Clark's going to be off the reservation.
I hope he's not around on TV.
Well, ESPN only has 3 employees, so he'll be around. Who wants to go work for ESPN? They're come work for the Professional Fanatics, baby. We're a lot better. We're a lot more open-minded up in this bitch. So yeah, Stephen A. Smith is Stephen A. is the ultimate like clown. He is officially a clown. Yeah. Did you hear his Christian Kirk comment?
No.
He called him Charlie Kirk. He's like talking about the game. He's like, and you got Charlie Kirk going out there for 10 catches and 137 yards. And they're like, Christian Kirk. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. He called him Charlie Kirk. Like, that's a bad Freudian slip, dude. Like, almost as bad as Colin Cowherd, who I actually don't mind Cowherd. I used to like him more when there was an old clip of him talking about quarterbacks that won't ever win a Super Bowl. This is like 2 years after Dwayne Haskins' death. And he named Dwayne Haskins because he doesn't do any of his own research, right? So like, and I, by the way, signed Dwayne Haskins jersey right next to me. So I love Dwayne Haskins, or I don't really love him. It's just funny. But he like named Dwayne Haskins and caught it like 30 seconds later. Like, he's talking about a dead man. Of course he's not going to go to the Super Bowl. He's fucking dead. So these guys getting paid millions of dollars are just bad at their jobs. And, maybe I'm not any better, but I don't get paid millions of dollars to do this shit for free. And come on, be better. Be better. You're getting paid millions of dollars, bro. Like, maybe don't say Charlie Kirk. Maybe don't mention Dwayne Haskins in the same breath as like Jared Goff. I mean, he's fucking dead.
Yeah, that would be wise.
Pittsburgh hiring primetime. What do you think about that? It makes sense. I actually haven't thought about that. Deion Sanders.
I had not thought about that either. I think it's too flashy for that organization, but I could see it. I just, at the end of the day, they're just too conservative. I just don't see it.
They'd have to bring in Shador then. I mean, you got to coach your son, right? Oh,
yeah.
That'd be a mess. Real quick, do you think Tomlin coaches this year?
No, I don't.
Take a year off?
I like
Tomlin. I think he's a good coach.
Yeah, he said he was going to step away from coaching. I feel like he's the kind of guy that would honor what he said, and like he wouldn't want to act like, oh yeah, the right person came around and changed my mind. I think he's just going to be out.
All right, Token says Buffalo wins Saturday. We're going to get to all your questions in a second. I'm going to hit you guys with the intro. We're going to go through the games for Saturday and Sunday. Stay tuned. Keep on popping your questions in. We will get to them in due time. All right, we're gonna go through all of the divisional games. Glad to have Dave on the show. I've been trying to kind of get everyone on this week that's been involved in the show. Now, Dave, you haven't been on for a while, since like I don't even know what week that was. Trying to get everyone in the community on the show. I've even asked some trans people to come on the show. People in the community. They don't want nothing to do with me, man. And I just watched a bunch of Dave Chappelle stand up and him just ripping on the tees, and it seeped in my brain. They're easy to make fun of. I have no issue with them. They're funny. It's funny. And you know what? They can like football too, right, Dave?
I guess at least they like something, but
all right. So the question that we had from Token, which is a nice name, Token. Bills Broncos. We'll start with that game. Josh Allen is superhero. He's doing it all himself. This team is trash. Shavers is out. Gabe Davis is out. Now, usually those two names wouldn't be like a big deal. Like if those two guys are out, you're not like, oh shit. Unfortunately, they have Cleo Shakir, Keon Coleman, and Brandon Cooks, the ghost of Brandon Cooks, who's playing very well, but he's still fucking 30 years old or 11-year veteran. It's Brandon Cooks. And Kincaid's banged up. Like Ty Johnson might not play in this game. Their defense is a little banged up. It's a Josh Allen show as well. Josh Allen banged up. Superhero. Give me your take. Broncos super healthy, super fresh, coming off a bye. At home, elevated air. It's a 1-point spread, essentially a pick 'em, Dave. Well, what's your take on this game?
This is a very difficult game, probably the hardest game for me to pick a side on. So when I think about it, Josh Allen obviously jumps off the page. He could beat anybody at any given time. But if this were a regular season game, this game in Denver is exactly the kind of game that they underperform in. The fact that it's the playoffs, I don't know if that's really going to change. Like you said, they're very fresh. I don't know if how much of a big fight Denver's really up for. I don't know. I guess I would give the edge to the Bills.
Let me ask you this. Let's just talk quarterbacks, because obviously it's an uneven playing field, right? If you put Josh Allen on Denver and you put Bo Nix on this Buffalo team, what would the spread be? Denver minus 10.5?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what game, in terms of the letter grades, what is it going to take Bo Nix to win this game? What does he have to do? Give me a B minus? If he plays, to this level, regardless of what Josh Allen does, what does it take for Bo Nix to win this game? A net negative that they might still win the game?
I think a B minus is fair. I think Buffalo's a very tough pass defense. They disguise very well. They're obviously easier to attack via the run, but I don't really see a great run game in Denver. Like you think of it, but then you look at the numbers and it's like no one's really jumping off the page. RJ Harvey's nice, but yards per carry routinely is way down. So we'll see. But man, Bo Nix, I think you hit it when you said B minus. I do. That's the kind of game he's going to have.
Let's say Josh Allen plays an A+ game, even better than Jacksonville. The Josh Allen we saw lose to the Chiefs in that game that went to overtime, right? The perfect game. Let's say it's one of these things. What does Bo Nix have to do? Does he have to match him? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is there a world where Josh Allen can just play so well that they can win the game? Or does it take some Bo Nix issues? Like, some turnovers, some missed throws, like some major mixed throws to have, a CJ Stroud level game, right? Where they won the game against Steelers, but it wasn't because of CJ Stroud, my dude. CJ Stroud, Butterfingers. It was awful. Like, can Josh Allen win this game on his own, or does he need some help?
I think he can win it on his own. I do.
That's some respect. That's some respect in the guy's name. We got Big Ray in the chat. Hello, King David. That must be your Xbox name. What's going on, Rob? Give me both of your true gut feelings on the Bears-Rams game. We'll jump ahead to that game right now. Take away your heart, Dave. I do this all the time in the Bears because obviously, I'm not saying I'm not a Bears fan, but I'm not like Ray, who was at the game, by the way. Real quick, got to shout out Big Ray, and Ray was at the game, and here you go. This is Big Ray at the game, shirtless, of course, and that brought him some luck. And by the way, real quick, my boy Chaz, who's been on the show, a lot, at least once a week. He was at both. These are the 3 Bears games he went to this year. Maybe he went to more, but he went to these 3 games. He's in college in Kentucky, so he doesn't get to go to every game. He went to the Bengals game with that crazy comeback. All right. He went to the Bears-Packers Week 16 game, and he went to Bears-Packers playoff game. Those are the three like all-time Bears games like I could think of in the previous 20 years. He went to all three of those games. So give me your take. What do you think? It's a 4.5-point spread. Rams minus 4.5 on the road. Mind you, they were 10.5 favorites against that piss-poor Panthers team and barely beat them.
Yeah, I mean that's 4.5 on the road is a lot to lay there. So that kind of jumps out at me. Obviously, I think I would take the Rams in the game. I do agree with the fact that the Rams should be favored. But what I noticed about the Bears, what I saw, like where the whole game changed. Remember when they came back against Green Bay last week, it wasn't like Caleb started rolling and then that's how the comeback started. The comeback started by them stopping Josh Jacobs on first down. Like that's literally how it starts. Like, oh, so it's not 2nd and 2 anymore. It's 2nd and 9. And we were actually getting punts out of Green Bay in the second half. There's a pretty damn good rushing attack with the Rams. And I have concerns about that. Obviously,
if they choose to use it. They don't always choose to use it, though, Dave.
Right. And I'm curious. That's the thing. I think that's like the X factor in the game. If they do wise up and that's what they do, then I think that's where the Bears are most vulnerable. If they cannot stop the run, then do we have any reason to think Caleb's going to start fast? He never does. Stafford is very good in the beginning of games. Puka's the best player on the planet. So it'll be tough, but it might end up looking like, depending on the weather, it might end up looking like a little bit of that San Francisco matchup where it was like, what was it, 42-35? Like not that high, but it could be where like, Stafford scores more often, but Caleb is like, hey man, I'm right there with you. Could be. What do you think?
So who are you picking in the game? I would probably take the Bears and the points, but if I had to choose just who's going to win, I'm taking the Rams. I mean, this team, they've been the best team in the NFC all year. Devontae Adams is working himself back into shape, which is kind of the X factor to me because he did not look great in this Panthers game, which I was surprised by because week 16, you saw him running on the field pregame. He looked fine. He said he could have came back. Week 17. And then week 18, he definitely could have came back. They held him out, and he looked a little sluggish. So if he is back to full strength, our defense and our secondary and mostly our pass rush is our issue. If you give Matt Stafford time, dude, Matt Stafford's the MVP this year. Like, as much as I love Drake May, it's 1A, 1B, whatever you want to say. Matt Stafford's playing at an elite level right now, and it's not Caleb. Everyone would say it's Caleb versus Stafford. No, it's Stafford versus our defense. And as bad as the Rams defense has shown, I feel like they're a better unit than they've been playing. They're not terrible. They're average. And Jared Verse is a game wrecker, and that's my worry. Caleb has yet to ever Caleb never gets sacked, right? Never gets touched, never fumbles. All it takes is one, right? And we can't afford that one this game because this is a stacked deck against us. And the Rams need this. Like, we don't need it as much. We've already won this year, right? We have our coach. We already knew Ben Johnson was an elite coordinator. Now he's, in my mind, an elite head coach. Caleb, we knew was a great prospect. Now Caleb's a good quarterback, and he might be a great quarterback. We have the cap space. We have the flexibility. Like the arrow is pointing up for us. The arrow is, this is it for the Rams. Like this and next year, but this is it for the Rams. They're not going to you see how these turnarounds come. You're talking about these teams that regress, and the Rams will be that team next year if they don't win this year, right? And they need this. It's wide open for them. We already saw they own Seattle. I know they lost that game to Seattle, that crazy game where Shaheed had the return. Like, dude, they have Seattle's number. The Niners are beat to shit. And I think they're going to beat whoever wins that game. And the AFC, we don't know who the hell is coming out of there. So who knows? The Bears could win the Super Bowl. They could also lose by, I don't think they're capable of getting blown out. But the thing is, I'm done predicting the Bears are going to lose, though, because I've been doing it for the last 4 weeks. I look like a goddamn fool, even though it's not wrong. The process is not wrong. The Packers should have won that game. The Packers missed 2 field goals. The Packers missed an extra point. Just take those away, they lose the game. And that's the problem. Is I know we won the game. They gave us a chance and we literally and we took it. But we got lucky. The Bears have gotten lucky, and we we take advantage of others, mistakes. The Rams aren't going to make those mistakes in this game, and that's what I'm calling. And Ray, I know you're not going to like it. You're going to hate it. You're going to say I'm a hater, and I want the Bears to win. For my fantasy postseason, I want the Rams to win. It's a win-win for me either way. Let's move on. Texans, Patriots. I think we both talk about. Let's just kind of go over this one fast. You said Texans. I said Texans. You're taking Texans straight up?
Yeah, I am.
Even without Nico Collins?
Yeah, I don't really think it's not the offense that I'm buying. It's the defense that I'm buying. And I think that they're going to give him short fields. I think they're going to give him turnovers. And I think that Stroud will clean things up and he'll make enough plays. It's not that I'm disrespecting New England, but, man, Houston, I just have such immense respect for their defense right now.
I always said coming into this, I was like, that's the team when they started going the run. No, let's not forget, Houston started 0-3, and I think they were 3-5. That's a team you don't want to play in the playoffs because as much as CJ Stroud gets this, everyone shits on CJ Stroud, and I'm one of them. I hated him coming out, but I've kind of stayed pretty neutral on CJ. He's a fine quarterback. He's not like an all-timer. He's barely a franchise guy, but he's fine. That's all you need. This is a Trent Dilfer situation. This defense is that good, and I guess the question is the running game. But you saw some of the flaws with New England, not even the schedule stuff, how their cupcake schedule. You saw Drake May's fumble issues, right? He does fumble. He does turn the ball over. And this is the toughest task he's had. I go back to the Texans-Bills game on that Monday Night Football game. It was probably like week 11, where Josh Allen just got destroyed by the Texans. Mm-hmm. And even Josh Allen's like athletic ability and scrambling did not help him, right? Because they're so athletic. Like, They force you into these small little windows as a quarterback to like pocket windows and step up areas. And then you try to run, they catch you from behind, right? The linebackers are super fast. Stingley's amazing. Like, dude, Lassiter's fucking good too. Like, dude, their whole defense is just, and it's not even this, there's defenses that have good players that just don't gel. This defense is a cohesive unit. And like, that's the thing. They're all on a string. And I'm excited for this game because I've been touting the Texans for a while, and I'm just very confident in the Texans defense being able to hold the Patriots to under 20 points, to 20 or under. Yeah. So now can the Texans score against the Patriots defense? And here's the question for you, Dave. Was the Patriots defensive performance last week, which was amazing, right? 6 points allowed to the Chargers. Was that more indicative of the Patriots defense gelling and coming together, which is they're not a great unit, but they're average? Or was it how bad the Chargers offensive line is and Justin Herbert just not being healthy?
I think it's much more Chargers related, personally. I think it's a solid defense. Getting Milton Williams back in the middle really helped them stop the run. Like, that was where they were getting hurt. But, I mean, the Chargers have just been a fucking mess. A mess. And if you lean on them at all, and, if you get them in a vulnerable position, like, you can just squash them. And that's what happened. So that's much more about them, in my opinion.
All right. 49ers Seahawks, Saturday, 7:00, the late game on Saturday. We kind of went on order on these.
I do want to add one quick thing, if I may, to that last one. No pun intended, if I may. Drake May takes a shit ton of sacks. Will Campbell's a good first-round pick, but he just got back from injury. He gets overmatched by stud pass rushers. Like, he'll hold up, but against studs, he's been burned. Just want to remind all the people, Myles Garrett's 5-sack game came against Drake May. Now you got Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter. I mean, this is a team that they allow a shit ton of sacks, and watch out for Hunter and Anderson. Watch out. All I had to say.
Are you calling Campbell a little bitch?
Well, you can camp out here for a while.
Well, this is pretty sweet. Is this couch fold out to a bed?
Yeah, totally great bed. But that's Jenkins' bed. Your bed's over here.
Dude, that is so fucking weak. How am I supposed to get a chick in that?
No, don't worry, dude. You couldn't get a chick if you had a $100 bill hanging out of your zipper.
Yeah, I could.
No, dude, you're a little bitch.
I am not. I don't even know why I hang out with you guys.
Because you're a piece of shit.
I am not a piece of shit.
Well, yeah, but you're a little bitch.
Sure are.
Sure are. All right. Niners, Seahawks -7, over under 45. We just saw this essentially in the Sam Darnold bye game, right? Week 18 to get the bye. They had Kittle in that game. They don't have Kittle in this game. Trent Williams missed that game, though, right? Was he out week 18? He had to be.
Yes.
They scored 3 points. So that's, I guess that's kind of I think Trent Williams is probably more important. So 7-point line in Seattle. Seattle's the healthiest team left in the playoffs, like even healthier than Denver. Divisional game, which makes it tricky. What do you got in this one?
I've learned to just take Seattle. I mean, when people had asked me my advice on confidence pools and stuff like that, I mean, one of my slogans was "Don't mess with Texas." I always point people towards Houston, and another one was, this group with the Seahawks. Man, it's just like they seem to be running the ball better right now too. Just over the last few weeks, where that was a problem, you think, oh my gosh, like you think with that offense, Kubiak, like that's what they're going to be doing, but it's really been more success through the air. But man, I like them a lot. As much as I like Purdy, he has really kind of showed his ass the last couple of weeks. And I think if the conditions aren't perfect for him, like, he was at home in those games where he had the 5 touchdown games. So I really got to give the edge to Seattle here on this one.
Oh, I should just stick with, I respect Kyle Shanahan so much. Now, again, playoff Kyle Shanahan's different. The play caller in Kyle Shanahan outside of Super Bowl games where he's really laid an egg is all-time great, right? We saw this in the Eagles game. He won that game. He out-coached, like, the advantage from Shanahan to Sirianni and Pachulo was literally, like, worth 10 points, I feel like. Because the talent level is not even close. As much as I hate Jalen Hurts, like, they still have such a better roster, and with Kittle going out. But I've been saying all year, people would hate it. They always call me a Seahawks sucker. I want to suck the Seahawks. I always say that if the Seahawks play their best game, they're the best team in football, right? The Seahawks A+ game is never losing to anybody because their defense is aggressive, opportunistic, and they're very disciplined, right? Like, it's hard to find a defense that is aggressive and they force not only turnovers, like they get touchdowns, right? They have great special teams, but they're disciplined. Like, that's a disciplined football team. And usually they don't coincide, right? They make bad, like, go back to like how Chris Jones is always jumping off sides, right? Like things like that. Like the Seahawks don't do those things. So it comes down to Sam Darnold. And if he plays a good game, the defense plays a good game. You got JSN. The running game is coming, like, rounding into form. Finally, it took like 16 weeks for the Seahawks to be like, oh, let's run the football with their above average offensive line. They are the best team in football. The problem is Sam Darnold pumpkin. That's the issue we've seen the last couple of years. 2 games. We saw it week 18 last year with Minnesota. We saw it in the wild card game with Minnesota. And he's regressed. The start of the year, Sam Darnold was MVP talk, right? And it's kind of tapered off a bit. So that's my worry. I feel like Seahawks have too much firepower. I'm more looking ahead to possibly Rams Seahawks in the NFC Championship game, which is an all-time game, right? Another third meeting between the teams. Both those games have been, that game on Thursday night, I think it was the Thursday night. That was was that fantasy championship game? It was fantasy championship week where that was 36. Yeah. That game, the Rams were just dominating them in that cold weather. They put up 36 points in that defense in cold weather on the road without Devontae Adams. So like that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm taking the Seahawks, but again, I would probably take the points, though. Would you take Seahawks -7? It's a lot of points. And I'd say it's a lot of points, dude.
It's a lot.
It might be 7.5, and it might be 7.5. At that point, you're definitely taking the Niners, right?
For sure. I think the half makes it. That's like it's tempting at the 7 to just take the points, but man, the 7.5 would be like, hell yeah. Just get off of them.
Right. Or the same thing as 6.5. I'm way more likely to take Seahawks at 6.5.
Yeah.
But 7 is that number where it's like you just stay away because it's probably going to be a wash. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's going to be dude, these games, these playoffs, we knew it coming in that it's just the parity. No Mahomes, no Burrow, no Lamar, no real dominant team in the NFC. And I know there was the Rams. They had the 5th seed, right? Seahawks have Sam Darnold. 49ers are beat to shit. The Bears are unproven. Like, the list goes on and on. There's just no runaway team. This is kind of where the NFL is going with there's a lot of good quarterback play. That draft, the Caleb draft, I feel like has changed the NFL because you have Drake May, you have Bo Nix. Jaden Daniels will make another appearance. You don't go from going to an NFC Championship game your rookie year with Washington, mind you, with not a lot of talent to just disappearing off the face of the earth. This is not an RG. Right. And this kind of leads me into the next segment I want to do real quick with you. I asked you to talk about 5 players that you don't want to miss out on next year. And this is all like hypothetical in terms of where they're going to go. but we have a general idea where guys are going to go or where we think they're going to go. So do you have a couple guys that you're really looking at next year that you're just bullish on, whether it's guys that made you money this year, guys you really like, or guys you think are going to take a step forward next year?
Boy, as I'm looking towards into next year, man, like I think Puka's Puka's the number one player. Like I think McCaffrey showed us that like this whole projecting injuries and particularly long-term injuries, like it's a fool's errand. Who's the best, on a game-to-game basis? I think Puka is the one that excites me the most. Just giving him the crown and saying like, look, here we are. There's Malik Neighbors is one that's really interesting to me because I've always been a big believer in quarterback insurance. Like I want elite wideouts that can survive if the quarterback goes down. Like that's just an extra wrinkle that I like. And having Jameis there and Neighbors, like Dart is probably going to take a step forward. And even if he doesn't, he was looking pretty good. If Neighbors can come back healthy, like he's someone that's most definitely on my radar there. I was even thinking about McCaffrey. Like, I just wanted a sidebar. You sent me that top 150. I was looking it over. And it's like McCaffrey's another one where I'm like, I don't know that I am excited because I feel like now it is the right time to double down on he's injury prone because we just saw one season where he played all the games. So like maybe it's the right time to make that bet again. It's like betting on black twice in a row. Like you're probably going to get it. So
I'm not touching McCaffrey. I mean, the touches, dude, the touches. He hasn't looked great.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The stats are the stats. He has not looked great. I mean, the receiving stuff's different. I'm talking about running the ball. He has not looked great this year. Like if you watch him next to Bijan, like he is just not dynamic anymore. Not that he ever really was, right? But like, look at Saquon this year, man. Everyone was like, Saquon's going to bust because he got hurt. No one really factored in the fact that Saquon's going to bust because he is just a shell of himself. And the wear and tear was real. Now, the scheme was bad. The offensive line was bad. Saquon was just kind of above average this year, I would say, which you're talking about above average. And last year, he was all-time. Talent, numbers, you name it. It was Saquon Barkley at his prime. So I'm not touching him this year, next year, CMC. So I got a couple names I want to throw out to you. The quarterback position. Again, I think we learned a lesson this year that early quarterback, with how deep it is now, there was that stretch, when late round quarterback became a big thing, right? Where everyone was just waiting because there were so many scramblers. And then the last 3 years, it's kind of been early quarterbacks had paid off, right? Lamar has paid off. Josh Allen's paid off. Mahomes was fading. He was the one that wasn't paying off. Jalen Hurts was paying off. So you had those guys just dominating. Now, like, where is the guy that's really distinguishing himself? Because Josh Allen's so inconsistent. Yes, you get usually 17 games out of him. But this year, he was the number one quarterback. He did not pay off his ADP, if you ask me, because he had a lot of stinkers, and he only averaged like 1.4 more points than the second highest quarterback. And it was a pretty weak quarterback year. So I'm looking at, by the way, Jalen Hurts undraftable next year. Would you agree?
Yeah.
If he's going quarterback 7, undraftable, because Tush Push is gone. They even when it wasn't gone, they weren't using it this year. I'm looking at Jaden Daniels as a guy I have to have. If I'm going to wait, I feel like Jaden Daniels, right now they have him at quarterback 5, which there's no way with what happened this year, he'll be going top 5 at quarterback. I feel like he'll go quarterback 7, quarterback 8, kind of the Baker range this year, which is money, 7th to 8th round. And I'm looking at Jackson Dart, dude. I love Jackson Dart. With Neighbors coming back, they're going to draft a receiver. I'm pretty sure they might draft Carnell Tate. They might draft a slot receiver. They might draft Lemon from USC. Either way, I'm drafting Jackson Dart. I think he is what fantasy studs are made of, man. Like just the skill set he has. It is Josh Allen, right? He's a guy that's got a big arm. He's going to run in the red zone. He's going to have 40-yard rushing games, maybe more. And he's going to be a guy going around quarterback 8, where it's like, I want to wait, but like usually, the top 3 or 4 guys go, it's like late second, then mid third, then late third, and the 4th guy goes like mid 4th. Then there's that little gap, right, where they go to like the 7th round, where it's like, yeah, you could draft maybe your 3rd running back, or you could draft your flex, or you could take a guy that could be a top 2 quarterback. And usually I do stay away from that range. It's like, you remember the dead zone and tight ends?
Yeah.
Usually like tight ends 6 through 8 is just trash. I see this year, and it's fine to wait because you have Caleb, you have Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence, Dak Prescott, Mahomes, Herbert, Hurts, Jordan Love, Matt Stafford, Bo Nix. Like, dude, it's a lot of dudes. Like, so you could very easily wait and just take whoever falls and take 2 of them. Is what I did this year. I took Drake May. I took Justin Fields, but Justin Fields, Drake May, Matt Stafford, Jordan Love, any combination of those guys, and they worked out. But it's like I feel like Jaden Daniels and Jackson Dart have that difference maker feel to them. What do you think in the 6th, 7th round?
I could see it with Dart. I could see with Dart. I am not the biggest Jaden Daniels guy. Like I remember talking with a friend at the draft and being like, at our fantasy draft, we both were in the camp of believing that like it was kind of going to be an RG3 situation, not full blown, but like a step back. So this actually didn't surprise me. I know he had a lot of injuries, but even in the beginning, like it just didn't really surprise me. Dart, I think getting Neighbors back, getting Scadabo back, like I think just understanding that maybe they're shifting their focus to being offensive minded and just thinking themselves like as a talented group. They also allow a lot of points. So like I could see both teams have bad defenses. They have that going for them, but I would give the edge to Dart in that situation. I just, you naming all those names, man, like there's so many. And I just want
to quarterback 16, right? Jared Goff, quarterback 17.
My
Baker
personal
Mayfield,
belief.
19. How many splits on Baker back to a quarterback 19? The hell?
Yeah. It is my personal belief that you should stream, or like what you said is draft 2, because like for instance this year, like I won games with 6 different quarterbacks. Right. So like even including Marcus Mariota and Geno Smith, like you can get it done. But the point is, I think that like even Jaden Daniels in those mid rounds, like I would rather be taking other positions there and knowing that I can pair 2 guys. You just have to look closely enough at the schedules and just say, look, like let me marry these guys up. But you have to evaluate that every 4 weeks throughout the season is what you have to do.
I guess my point is with the how deep quarterback is, the advantage of taking the mid-round quarterback is they slide too far because everyone's thinking I'm just going to wait, right? And it's going to be Josh Allen, Drake May, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. Those are the top 4. Then I feel like it might be 4 fucking rounds before anyone takes, because who knows, right? It's the same reason that I wait, and once I wait, I will take the 13th quarterback or the 12th quarterback, and then unless people double up, I'm going to have 2 really good ones. I feel like how deep it is going to help push down those mid guys I'm talking about. Daniels, Dart, Herbert, whatever order. The order is going to be crazy, right? Depending on the site you're on, the league you're in. But it's like guys I'm targeting for that might fall is Daniels and Dart because of their skill set. And like if you're telling me that Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson go off in the 3rd or 4th round, and I can get Jaden Daniels or Jackson Dart in the 8th round, which might actually happen because someone might like Prescott or Lawrence or Caleb or Herbert or Hurts. And like, instead of waiting to the 11th round to take whoever falls, sometimes identifying that league winner, which, Drake May was that league winner this year. Jackson Dart was when he was playing. Like, it's not that big of an opportunity. I know it seems like a big opportunity cost, right? 7th or 8th round, but it's really not when you can have that dual threat quarterback. I know you play a 6 for a passing touchdown league. I play a lot of 4. But having that rushing quarterback, dude, that can get you the 28 to 30 point games consistently. And you saw Jackson Dart, his lowest, like when he was playing besides that game against the Vikings where they didn't throw the ball at all, he was not under 22 points at all, period.
He was really solid. He was really solid.
All right, I want to move to running backs real quick. And a guy I'm looking at real quick, and I want to talk about Zach Charbonnet because Kenneth Walker's all but gone there. Tiny Dancer. I think he might go to the Chiefs, but the Tiny Dancer. Now, obviously, in the rankings, like they're not projecting it like he's gone, but like they're not keeping Kenneth Walker. What do you think about Zach Charbonnet?
Man, you're never going to get scripted out of the game because of the defense. So I love players on teams like that. So, he's not going to get all the work. Obviously, they're going to do something, but if you figure a slight increase, like, I think he was somewhere around RB 18, 22, I want to say.
He had 12 touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, you put him, obviously you got to put a little bump on him, but I'd put him more in like the 14 to 18 range. What do you think?
If there's no Kenneth Walker, I would take Zach Charbonnet in the early 3rd.
Yeah, that's fair.
He is like, I was talking about Jackson Dart and Jaden Daniels have what it takes to be an elite fantasy quarterback, right? Jackson Dart in particular, like the red zone rushing, the big arm, the aggressive nature, those kind of things. As long as you're not playing at a -3 for interception league like you do. Zach Charbonnet, now he has not been used as a pass catcher in this year or the last couple of years, but Zach Charbonnet actually coming out of UCLA actually was, even though his size doesn't say he is, he's a pass catching running back, like even more so than Kenneth Walker. So like we saw the starts. It was last year, right? Remember his 3-game stretch in the fantasy playoffs? Or it was week 14, 15, 16. So it wasn't the championship. He also had 2 starts, week 4, week 5. So we had 5 games where he started. Bro, he was like RB2 overall for those 5 weeks, like for points per game. Like it was 22 carries, it was 6 catches, it was 28 touches, it was 2 touchdowns a game. It was amazing. And he's not the flashiest guy, but he's also a fucking workhorse that I don't feel like I'm worried about him getting hurt. I know every running back has injury concerns, yes, but like Kenneth Walker is much more of an injury-prone running back, and I feel like they're just done with his nonsense. I love Kenneth Walker. He's a tiny fucking dancer. He is a tiny dancer, but you know, Zach Charbonnet hits the goddamn hole. Tiny dancer,
You know, Charbonnet is like a poor man's Tyler Algier. If Algier got all the carries, dude, he's insane. Like just backup guys that like, he'd be one of those like high end RB2s. I think if you say you take him in the 3rd, I feel like how many backs would you take over him? Is he wouldn't be top 12, or would he be?
I'm assuming let's assume they let Tyler or they let Kenneth Walker go, and they draft a Bucky Irving type, right? Like a 4th round kind of scat back, because obviously they would let the early downs go to Charbonnet. Kind of a project type. They like George Holani there as well. So they have just, the random, it's Charbonnet's job, right? Like it's Charbonnet's job. 70% workload. I would take him top 10. Honestly, I'm saying the defense, like, why wouldn't I? Like, it seems like it's safe with upside. And I love the pairing of a guy, has a nice floor that he scored 12 touchdowns this year with a team that they weren't running the ball. Their offensive line was not great in terms of run blocking, and they had Kenneth Walker there. I know, like, he kind of got lucky in those 12 touchdowns. I'm just saying if his floor would be 12 touchdowns without Kenneth Walker. And like, we're talking about guys like Derrick Henry, the only guys you can talk about. Not even Bijan can give you 12 touchdowns. We saw that. They put Algier in there. There's 4 running backs in the league that give you a 12 touchdown floor if they're healthy. And that's his floor. And that is. And I just love Charbonnet. I feel like you can get him later because he's not a sexy name. He's not a sexy name. It just sucks that he scored 12 touchdowns this year, because people might jump on him because they'll know the numbers. They don't realize the bumpy ride it was. You were never comfortable starting Kenneth Walker or Zach Charbonnet.
Right. It was a problem.
Let me ask you this. Of the free agent running backs, who are you most looking forward to having the starting job? We mentioned Tyler Algier, who, as you know, I've been a big Algier guy forever. I draft him every year.
He's awesome.
It never pans out. This year was actually good in terms of like best ball drafting, which actually worked out for me because he had like 7 touchdowns. But I love Tyler Algier. I also love Rico Dowdle. And Rico, the writing's on the wall there with Rico, dude. He was so pissed about his usage at the end of the year. And that guy's got that FU factor. You heard what he said in the Cowboys game, how he's like, I'm going to fucking wreck these fools, make them like, rue the day they got rid of me. And like, I feel like Rico's that dude, and he's a 3-down back. He's a way better pass catcher than they used him in Carolina. Would you be more excited about, and I'm going to throw David Montgomery in that conversation too. I think you're in agreement there with me that David Montgomery is kind of old news, but of those 3 guys, landing on a decent team as a starter, paying them to be a starter, who you like the most?
It was Charbonnet being the 3rd.
Charbonnet. No, I'm saying Tyler Algier, Rico Dowdle, and David Montgomery. And let's throw Kenneth Walker in there as well. Those 4 guys, Kenneth Walker, David Montgomery, Rico Dowdle, Tyler Algier. They're all going to be free agents. They're all free agents. That they all go to a team X, a random team that needs a starting running back. That they're going to get the work.
Man, that is such a good question. My heart says Algier. I just love I love that he's never fumbled. Love that about him. It's going to keep him on the field. Like, he'll endear him to his coach for sure, whoever that may be. But man, the Dowdle case is a strong case, and I think explosive. I think big ceiling because we saw it with Dowdle. So that would be the one I would be most excited about.
Sorry, I got a little lag here.
Oh, no problem. We're back.
I'm back. Sorry, I didn't get your answer. Is it Algier?
Algier is a close second, but no, man, I give the edge to Dowdle.
Yeah, God, I love Algier so much. Dude.
I do too, but like I was saying, Dowdle has shown us 30-point games, and I don't know that wherever Algier goes, like he's not as explosive. Dowdle can give you that ceiling, like the ceiling that we all want. Like he showed it. So, and he just loves to run the fucking football. So, an animal,
dude. Running backs gonna be great next year. I feel like it's, the last couple of years, man, we've had no injuries from the top 6, top 7 guys at all, and all I always draft those handcuffs, and they just have not panned out at all because they stay healthy, and it's partially because Bijan Robinson's a goddamn machine that doesn't get hurt, and one of these years, I mean, it has to happen, right? These guys have to get hurt. I'm not saying Bijan in particular, but they have to get hurt. So, but the allure of these late round, middle round running, it's gotten better every year. And like all these guys are talking about Rico and Algier, even David Montgomery if he goes somewhere else. Breece Hall. Do you think they're signing Breece Hall?
Who? The Jets?
The Jets. You think that they're going to re-sign him? Because they didn't trade him.
No.
They could have got a 4th round pick for him.
No, I think for everything I hear, it's the Chiefs, man. So I don't know. I mean, I don't see him going back to the Jets. So I don't think he would want to go back to the Jets.
Why didn't the Jets just trade Breece Hall then? Because they have Braylon Allen. They have Isaiah Davis, who they like both of them. Braylon Allen's 21 years old, bro.
I think the Braylon Allen injury is what killed that, to be honest with you, man. Like, when Braylon Allen went on IR, I think that, in my opinion, like I thought that they were going to trade him, and I looked at Braylon Allen as like a fantasy must-have. And then when Braylon Allen went to IR, I just don't think that they felt like they could appear to not be tanking if they then traded Breece. Like at that point, there was something about.
Who cares about the appearance though? What are they doing? Like, who cares?
Right, but then obviously, like the Sauce Gardner thing was actually a great freaking deal. So that didn't really look like they were just giving up. Like that just looked like that's just good business. So I don't know.
That was great business.
I think Braylon Allen, if he was healthy the whole year, I think that Breece would have got traded.
They should have just done it anyway. They had bodies. Like, get the fuck out of here with keeping Breece Hall. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like the point they traded Quinn Williams.
I mean,
they traded everyone.
Just be shooting the shit up. You're like, yeah, get out. But but it's real life, and I just, you ever have like a fantasy manager you're dealing with that just wants to go down with the ship? Like, no, this is my
yeah. I've been like that in your league. I was like that in your league the years I sucked because I was
maybe
in
they're like
leagues,
that.
I was like, I don't want to deal with the thing. But this isn't a dynasty, and I didn't care. If it was dynasty, I would have been open for trade.
Breece. Maybe they're just like, you know what, Breece is our baby. We're going to go down with him and ride out his contract stubbornly.
That's awful. All right, Dave, I'll get you out of here. I'll finish the show solo. Maybe Ray, if you're on here, you want to hop the fuck on. All right, love to have you on, man. Don't be a stranger. We have a lot of off-season stuff. Hopefully next year you can be a regular rotation guy because people love you on here. Give it up for Dave. Let us know in the comment section. What do you guys think of Dave? Is he good? Is he a clown? Is he handsome? Is he terrible? Does he know his shit? Say whatever you will. We're all about honesty on the show, so they're gonna love you, bro.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me.
Of course, dude. Keep on basking in that championship. I know it was a long time coming. Again, I've always talked you up pretty high in terms of, like I feel like the NFL as much as I do, which says a lot because of the amount of, you've played what 22 years in your league?
I think it's 24. Yeah.
Right. So I've played 24 or more fantasy leagues the last 10 years. So I've played over fucking 400 fantasy leagues in my life. I'm saying, but I feel like the NFL as much as I do, and I've played literally 30 times more leagues than you, 40 times, 50 times more leagues than you.
Probably true. And what's funny is since we started at the same time, basically, as you recall, Corin Robinson, Ashley Lilly were on your team. I remember that team very well. But I remember that was before we had our learner's permit. That's what I've been telling people. They're like, "Oh, how long have you been in this league? How long did it take you to win?" I'm like, "Well, I couldn't drive a car even with a parent sitting beside me when I started playing in this league that I now won as a 38-year-old dad of 2. What a freaking life it's been since I won." But I did.
I won 9 championships this year. You wrap your head around that?
No.
They don't mean as much. I understand that they don't mean as much, but for me, it's more business. And obviously I like talking shit too, but like I feel like I'm above. I've gotten above like talking shit to try to like prove myself to like my friends because that's fine. I've won enough of all my home leagues to where like I could go 4 years without winning it because I've already, I won Mortos, I won XFL, like, Also, raise the goddamn buy-in. I'll pay attention more, motherfuckers. $150. I can't pay attention to that. I can't give it special attention is what I'm saying. And all the trades, I can't put that much effort into one league. Anyway, love you, Dave. Love you, Dave.
I put in more than ever. 151 moves this year, a world record. So
that's
what it takes to win.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon, and we'll talk soon, man. I love you. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Later, buddy. All right, David Brainerd. You guys were in the NFL. No, man, not in the NFL. I wish I was. I would be a backup quarterback, though, for sure. I'll get to your questions in a second. I gotta go up to the top. We missed a lot of questions. Ray, if you want to hop on for a little bit to end the show, you're more than welcome to. I sent you the invites. I figured out how to do it in stream. That's why Dave lagged out kind of for a bit. But we'll see what we got here. Razor says, any locks? Yeah, man, I put the bets out. Tomorrow's show is going to be all my locks. But if you want to get in the Discord, you get them right when I put them out. Real quick, before I get to that, shout out to all the Patreon supporters. Appreciate you guys. Zach L., you're getting your hat here soon. By the way, tomorrow I am drawing for the hat giveaway. Every month I give away a free hat to the Patreon. So if you're not in there, good time to get in there because you can get into the hat giveaway. Also, besides just supporting your boys and myself, which is a big perk, access to the Discord community fantasy leagues. We're doing a dynasty startup in May, as well as 5 or 6 or 7 or as many as you guys want redraft leagues for 2026. Guest appearances on the pod. You want to be sitting where Dave Brainerd was sitting, or Chaz, or Ray, or you name it. I like having my fans come on the show at least a couple times a month. If you get in the Patreon, if you want to get in that tier, you're welcome to come on the show and talk some ball with me, or Ray, or Storey, or all of us. Have a little 4-way. Free merchandise. Like I said, I give the hat away. We're getting the shirt soon. Also, the biggest perk, if you want to make some money, is access to the early plays, man. I put my bets out on the streams here a day before the games. But if you want to get in the Discord, I placed all these bets on Tuesday, I think it was maybe it was Monday, right when everything, it was Tuesday, right when all the props bet. I only bet props. 89-53 on the year. We're 3-2 to start the playoffs. Not a great start there, but 89-53, man. So we're making some major money there. So if you want access to all of the plays, the bets, when I bet them, at the odds I bet them to have this record, if you had bet $100 on all of these, you would be up about $4,000 this year. Just so you know, I've been betting more than that on these, so that's been paying my rent, honestly. This and the channel, which has some good days, bad days, good weeks. The bets don't, though. So appreciate you guys. And, the Discord is the place to be. There's 71 people in there right now in the community, as well as all of my co-hosts. So you get to interact with us, direct access to us. We call it the place to be.
What do you call it, Kramer? It was, come on, Rudy, come on. We call it the place to be. The place to be, yes.
It is the place to be. All right. See where we're at here. Faded. I'm from Iowa, and I'm a Pittsburgh fan. I've always been surrounded by Bears and Packers fans, so I tend to root against them. Root against the Packers, but you know what? It kind of sucks to be a Steelers fan right now, though. Sorry, Faded. They're you make the playoffs every year, but it's been gross. Let's see where we're at here. Thoughts on who the Steelers' next quarterback might be? I don't know, dude. They're in a bad spot. I could see them taking Simpson, which would be a bad pick. The kid from Alabama, who's a total project, because you guys have like the 22nd pick. I don't know offhand. It's low 20s. Not a good spot. That's the Kenny Pickett spot. And that's not a good spot. Now, Jackson Dart went in that range. He went like 26th. Usually that's not a good spot for taking quarterbacks. You get your Will Levises from that range. And there's not a lot available. I mean, you could take Malik Willis maybe. I don't know. Head coach. I meant not quarterback. Oh, head coach. It's not a desirable job, man. The franchise is desirable, faded, but the roster is not great. The defense is overpaid. And you have DK Metcalf, who makes a lot of money, who's a knucklehead, although I love DK. You don't have a lot of options there on offense. And you don't have – dude, it's bad. You drafted Caleb Johnson. You didn't use him. Offensive line's average at best, and you have no quarterback. No quarterback. That is not a desirable job. So Bijan is the best running back in the league, and nobody can tell me different. Oh, that's 100% fact. Jahmyr Gibbs is close. I'll give him close. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is the second best running back in the league, but Bijan is up here. Jahmyr Gibbs is here. I think if Brian Flores kills his interview, I like that. Brian Flores, though, I don't know how much I like him as a head coach. I know he's an amazing coordinator. As a head coach, I think he's just average. So Tyler Algier is awesome, Ray. Awesome. Seahawks fans are welcome, my dude. What about Breece Hall? We talked about that one a little bit. The Jets do suck. Any locks? Like I said, man, if you want to hop on the Patreon, get in the Discord, you can get my bets. If not, tomorrow night I will be releasing all of them to the public on the stream, 10 p.m. Central. Fantasy takes some attention span for sure, but it's not that much. It's not that much. Am I crazy for thinking Mendoza might actually be the only first-round quarterback drafted? It won't happen, Blake, but, I mean, it should happen. I would say you said Chambliss and Simpson are both second or third rounders according to most of the projections I'm seeing for them. But, like, dude, teams are needy. Here's the thing. Teams at the top of the draft aren't really that needy this year. It's really just the Raiders and it's the Jets. But the Jets have multiple first rounders, so that is the thing for the Jets. They might do it. Team like the Steelers need it. Someone will. I can guarantee you one of those guys go in the first round. Someone will be enamored with the athletic ability of Simpson or Chambliss, who has been playing well. Again, I'm not the biggest college guy. That's more of a story thing. Someone will be enamored by them, and they always go higher, right? That's the problem with these weak quarterback drafts is someone has to go. Someone has to go in the first round. We saw Jackson Dart, who wasn't a first-round grade by a lot of people, go in the first round. Now, that ended up working out, but it was no guarantee that it was going to work out. It didn't look great. I didn't like the pick at the time because I was a little scarred from the Will Levis experience and then also Malik Willis. But someone will do it, man. It's not good options. It's a rough quarterback draft. I always like these drafts, though, the rough quarterback drafts, because then, you know what? All the skill players actually get drafted accordingly, which is cool. Blake, you're going to be on like twice a week in April if you can handle that. I need college football guys, and most of my guys that I have in my co-hosts are NFL guys. So I don't really have college football guys besides Storey. So I'd love to have you on multiple times a week. You know, I'm going to put my research in starting once the NFL is over, really dive into some tape. But again, I'm not watching these guys week in, week out like you and Storey are. So I like to prefer just to host this show and ask you guys questions about these players and give my own takes as well. But I need fresh opinions from actual college football fans. And again, I mean, it's like the weather, bro. Look at Mel Kiper especially. He's trash. He's terrible. Chris Sims, some of these guys. So it's like, who knows? You know, I just want to hear different perspectives. And here's the point about this channel, what we want to do. Collectively, we can make opinions on these players. You can draw your own opinion based on what we say, facts we bring in, opinions we bring in. You can draw your own opinions. And that's what I like to do on the show in general, in fantasy, in draft grades, all that kind of shit. That's how we make money, right? Just because I tell you to take a player, like if I told you to take Chris Olave, which I told everyone to take Chris Olave, if you were scared off with a concussion side, I was never like, you have to take Chris Olave. I saw the reasons why Chris Olave was a risky pick. But in my mind, in the 7th round, he wasn't risky because I don't give a fuck if my wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 4 gets a concussion. So that's the point of the show is you take guys accordingly. Oh, my picture fell down. Mel Kiper having Dante Moore over Mendoza says everything you know about Mel Kiper Jr. Yeah, I'm much more of Todd McShay guy. I respect Todd McShay's opinion much more than Mel Kiper. Mel Kiper he's been in the game too long. You get complacent. You don't put the work in. He's definitely a simple Jack.
Simple Jack, the story of a mentally impaired farmhand who can talk to animals, was a box office disaster that many critics called one of the worst movies of all time.
Got a good brain.
I think you've got a fine brain, Jack.
You make me happy.
But now the question is, can speed...
All right, Cam Speedman. That's Simple Jack, baby. Dino Jeremiah is good too. All right, we are caught up on questions, guys. Get your last couple in here. I don't know if Ray's going to join me. Otherwise, Ray's going to be on tomorrow night. I'll be on tomorrow. I'll be on Saturday. I will be on Sunday. 3 more shows this week. Probably take Monday off. It's the national championship game. And then next week, again, 4 or 5 more shows. You know how I do around these parts, boys. Last couple questions, comments. I will get to them. Otherwise, we will see y'all tomorrow. I'm going to play a clip, give you guys a second to answer a question or to ask a question, think about a question. Here we go. All right, gentlemen. Appreciate everyone in the chat. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ray, for the $10 super chat. Appreciate you, my dude. Tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Central. That's me and Ray breaking down the playoffs, answering all your questions. You know how we do around here, boys. Love your life. Stay positive and respect each other. We will see you tomorrow.
Just seemed like a good dude. I thought I'd see if you wanted to grab a beer, that's all. I'm glad you called. We get home safe, Pistol.
You got it, Jobin.
Sorry, what?
Nothing.
Oh, what'd you say?
I don't know. You nicknamed me Pistol, and I just called you Jobin. It means nothing. I'm drunk. I'm gonna call a cab.
All right, man. You have my number, yeah?
I got you stored in my iPhone.
All right. If you need me, call, okay?